Good morning. Welcome to Stock Market Today. Wednesday, December 23rd, 2020. This is your host, Dan Russo, Chief Market Strategist at Chaikin Analytics. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at DanRusso_CMT. Stock Market Today brought to you today and every day by Chaikin Analytics. Head over to chaikinanalytics.com/today. Sign up for a free email where we get a lot of the content for this show. We also give you daily stock ideas to consider, and that hits your inbox every trading day before the market opens. Today is the final full trading day of the week. Tomorrow is a half day. I will be here for a show, and then I will be gone next week. Major indexes in the U.S. were mixed on Tuesday, though the NASDAQ and Russell 2000 both finished at records. Value underperformed growth. Treasuries were a little changed to stronger with the curve flattening. Dollar was stronger on the major crosses. Sterling underperformance remains the big story in FX. Gold finished down 70 basis points, near the worst levels of the session. WTI crude down 2% after falling more than 2.5% on Monday. So we get to the desk this morning. Futures are up about 40 basis points after Asian markets were mostly higher overnight. South Korea, China, and Hong Kong were the better performers in the region. European markets are posting solid gains. Treasuries are unched to slightly weaker. Dollar is lagging on the major crosses. Gold up 10 bips. Crude oil up 10 bips as well. So we had record closes for IWM and the Qs on a closing basis. S&P still grinding. Watch the levels, not the headlines. I know the headline last night was that we might be vetoing the relief bill. I think it's important to remember that it's a relief bill as well as a general spending bill. So I would urge people to maybe dig in a little bit. I know that there's outrage over some of the stuff that's in the bill, but maybe go back and see what past bills have looked like and see if there's a huge difference there. It's not just a coronavirus relief bill. It's also the general spending bill. So I think that's important. Get past the soundbite. S&P 500 supported 360, then 340. Above 340, I think we're going to 413. Qs, 260 is key support. 300 is important in the near term. IWM support near 170, then near 160. Maybe in the near term here, you start calling 180 tentative support for the IWMs. If we were to get a near-term pullback, I think you could. A little consolidation there. Why not? You know the story. It hasn't changed. That's the thing about doing a show every day and writing every day is sometimes the big picture story doesn't change all that much day to day. That's why it's important to just stay on it, because it's important to stay on it because it could change in a heartbeat. And it's also important to know what constitutes change. That's why I give you the levels. Right? The news flow doesn't constitute change. At any point this year, the news flow has been horrible, and you could have made the case to get uber bearish. And if you did, you were wrong. Not on the news, but in the market. If you decided to blame the Fed and be bearish on equities only because of liquidity, you'd be wrong. You could decide to blame valuations, be bearish on the market because valuations are rich. Maybe, but you'd be wrong. I give you these levels every day because they're the roadmap. I'm bullish on the market. Below 320 on the S&Ps, I'm not. Below 320, my bullish view is wrong. The news doesn't tell me that. The market does. So that's why we lay out every day. Even though nothing changes or things change very slowly sometimes, when they change in an instant, and you want to be ready. All right, stocks grind sideways as choppy trade continues as we drill down on our market in a minute. Sentiment remains bullish, but has moderated. That's important, I think. Some of the sentiment indicators that were super frothy over the past couple of weeks have moderated a bit. In particular, the CNN Fear Greed Index has come in quite a bit. Qs see improving relative strength. I think that's important. We talked about tech yesterday. Now broaden it out to the Qs in general, which is much more than just tech. I think that people often look at the Qs and think tech, but the Qs are a lot more than just tech. And I think it's important because these are a lot of times your secular growers, and if they're getting in line, that's important. ARKG, everybody's talking about the ARK funds, as they should. Kathy Wood and her team have had a phenomenal year. They have trounced the market. They have trounced their competitors. They have a philosophy in which they have strong conviction and they live it and they own it. And that's great. I'm an investor in ARKK. ARKG, though, I think Genomics is interesting. Remember, we talked about biotechs yesterday, and I think Genomics as a subset of biotech is really interesting. I've actually been doing a lot of work away from the charts for myself on this space, just because it's fascinating to me, and it's breaking out. And in our model, and Chaikin Analytics and our charts, it's closer to overbought than to oversold. So I applaud Kathy and her team. I love that they're attacking this conventional view of passive is better than active. I love that they are attacking people who think that, you shouldn't make concentrated bets in certain themes. I love that. And so far they're crushing it. So kudos to them. I hope it continues. Futures point to a higher open here today. Major indices from a power bar perspective, not a ton has changed again. 4-2 bulls to bears for the Dow, which lost 70 bips. S&P down 15 basis points, 125 to 55 bulls to bears there. NAS outperforms up 27 basis points, and small caps outperform even more. NASDAQ is 19 to 11 bulls to bears. Small caps 812 to 121 bulls to bears, according to the Chaikin Power Bar. Small cap stocks and large cap stocks are strongly bullish. Bonds did uptick yesterday, sending yields lower, so that was kind of interesting. Stock of the day. I know not the most sexy story, right, or space, but IT services has been working. Software and services have been working. On the services side, remember, when you look at software and services, it's software and services. It's completely different businesses, connected but different. And Accenture is the gold standard in services. ACN, bullish. Gap higher, consolidating, personality change, starting to outperform. Overbought, oversold indicator working higher, bullish money flow. So looks compelling to me, right? Strong trend, strong industry group. I mean, this is just a best in class name if you want to just own a good business. Accenture is the type of name that you would look at. You'd say to yourself, hey, this is a good business. And then when the setup is there, it's compelling. And for me, that setup is always, I'm always on the lookout for the personality change. Always on the lookout for things that have gone from underperforming to outperforming. That to me is a really compelling setup. So Accenture, ACN, I think is a name you want to be paying attention to if you're looking for ideas into the end of the year. Let's take a look at the sector tracker now, moving to the last 5 days. Only tech is positive, so okay. We want to see more positive with tech at the top, right? We want to see everything positive with tech at the top, along with cyclical groups like industrials and materials, and we want to see real estate, utilities, and staples at the bottom of the list, but everything positive. That's like the perfect board, right? But we don't live in a perfect world. Tech, well, materials, fins, and discretionary outperforming, round out the top 4. Industrial, staples, REITs, middle of the road, comms, utes, and energy, bottom of the list. Energy's really come under some pressure here in the near term, and it's starting to bother me because we were warming to it. Still think it's early days, and I don't think we're going to get there in a straight line, especially, a group that a lot of people are still skeptical on, but I'm not going to be dogmatic. I turned bullish on materials. That was a great call. Turned bullish on industrials. That worked out. We turned bullish on the financials. Look what the banks did over the weekend. Now we've turned somewhat bullish on energy. Not quite ramping, though, the way I would hope it would, especially coming out, especially being so hated. So we're going to take a look at that and keep an eye on it closely. Telecom services is our industry in focus. Past 6 months, let's call it in line, 62 basis points to the good relative to the S&P. Strong power bar ratio, 8-3, currently ranked number 15. Comtech, Adtran, Netgear. Very bullish, and bullish respectively. All three are holdings of XTL, which kind of looks interesting. This has been off my radar screen for a while, and now what do we have here? XTL is a neutral rating, 8-3 bulls to bear. Strong trend, though. Top side breakout. The fund itself is not that compelling to me. It's not super liquid and doesn't have a lot of assets, but I want to spend some time right here on 8 bullish names and see what they look like. Are we getting personality changes similar to with a fund? I don't know. We're going to take a look. I'll spend some time with that today. Bullish money flow. mean, this is how idea generation comes about. Ideas can come to you a lot of ways. This is one of the ways that I like to do it. I like to drill down, right? When I see an ETF start to outperform, well, it stands to reason some of their stocks might be doing the same. Let's find them. XTL, spend some time on it this week. Taking a look at what's trending now. Yesterday's S&P 500 movers, shakers, gainers, losers. Paycom 52-week high. Etsy price target increased at Loop Capital. ETSY up 4.3%. Fortinet cybersecurity stocks remain hot. Fortinet trades higher. ISRG. Look at the ISRG chart. Top side breakout. ISRG 52-week high, up 3.29% yesterday. I'm taking a look at this one for myself, actually, today. I'm going to spend some time with reading a little bit. Albemarle, no company-specific news, up 3%. Let's take a look at the loser side of the board. Not a ton. KMX earnings take 8% out of the stock. Norwegian, Carnival, obviously, we're getting, new strand of Corona, back and forth. So let's take some out of the cruise lines. Norwegian down 6.8, Carnival down nearly 6%. Mosaic MOS, nothing company specific there. That's been part of our ag theme. Bullish stock here at Chaikin down 5.5%. Maybe that presents an opportunity. I don't know. APA down with energy. No company specific news, with the exception of KMX. None of these had anything company specific that I could see. Let's dive into the charts, and I mean, this is what it feels like a broken record on this 13-day moving average of the CBOE equity put call ratio, still down there at excess greed levels. I don't have anything to say. I don't know what to say. I'm not even, it's bizarre. I could take this chart back 10 years. We're still at our lowest levels. You generally don't hang out down at these excessive levels for so long, but we've all seen the stories. I mean, it's kind of a little bit of a YOLO market. Retail driving options flow, especially within call options. It's well documented. Maybe they've been right. I don't know. It's kind of fascinating to me. I wonder how many people actually know what they own when they buy these options, right? Are they paying attention to things like Delta? Are they paying attention to things like Gamma? Probably not, but right now they're just long. And that's kind of fascinating. And that all plays out as the VIX does not crack 20. Right? So again, like a broken record. We haven't cracked 20 since before the pandemic. So that's kind of interesting to me. So you have it's almost like a bifurcated view. You have these two dynamics, and maybe the VIX is shifting a little bit. I don't know. I'm no expert on the VIX. I'm an observer only as it relates to the VIX. But we went from this 2016, 2017, a lot of 2018 with these persistently low levels in the VIX, and maybe this is just a little bit of a regime shift. I don't know. But right now, we don't crack 20. And that's kind of interesting in light of the fact that, people are bulled up in the options market. So that's kind of fascinating to me. Genomics is a big deal. Here's that ARKG, right? So applaud them. They have a few different funds, but ARKG is kind of interesting to me because we talked about biotech. I think that's going to be one of the themes going into 2020. And you had this little consolidation, and now you're breaking top side. Now you're overbought, but look at the relative strength. And this is what I'm talking about. I mean, absolutely just crushing peers and crushing competitors. Look at that scooter line, 99.6, crushing the market, crushing their peers, crushing their competitors, crushing people who don't believe in what they do. And I think that that's fascinating. And I could put pretty much any of the ARK funds up here, whether it's ARKK, ARKF, ARKW. It's unbelievable what they've done there. I'm a fan. I own ARKK. But I urge people who are really interested in these kind of disruptive technologies to spend time on their website, because what's interesting and what's really cool about ARK is that they make their research available. They publish a ton of information on what they're looking at and why. When I wanted to learn about CRISPR technology, I spent a lot of time on their site. They have a ton of stuff for me to read there. So I think that is really fascinating in and of itself. Is they're a totally open book and they're still crushing their competitors. So kudos to them. A testament to active over passive. Finally, let's take a look at the Dow, just kind of consolidating here, hanging out. I think it's going to resolve higher above the 50-day moving average, above the 200-day moving average. RSI in bullish ranges. Scooter middle of the road. So the Dow is not really leading or lagging, but ideally, we want our major indices all moving together, and I think we're going to get it. And the Dow right now just looks to be sleeping right above the breakout level. We'll see how it plays out. That'll be it. Again, I'll be here tomorrow. Have a great Wednesday. See you tomorrow, everyone.
Hey, Grayson Rose here with StockCharts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, consider giving it a like down below, maybe leave us a comment, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe at the link up above. We're gonna bring you daily content from an incredible collection of technical analysts and financial experts.